What's up, people? You're watching a clip from the WRESTHINGS podcast. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. By the Mandem, for the Mandem.
The magnitude of this match is mad to me because I feel like this is like... I think Bryan Danielson has had like one of the most interesting careers I've ever seen in wrestling. Because for me, it's like, he started off as like an indie darling or somebody like in ROH where he was loved by like the hardcore wrestling fan, but wasn't really known to like the mainstream public. And then his character, his run in WWE is completely different to what he is in ROH. And it's like he managed to reinvent himself and arguably become like one of the most over baby faces in WWE in the past decade, and create one of the biggest moments in like wrestling. Then from that, go back to like his ROH roots and cater to like the hardcore like wrestling fan audience and put on that banger match after banger match after banger match. To me, he's like he's the most adaptable wrestler I've ever seen, because it's like, cool, there are wrestlers that we say that can do both, but he's one of the only wrestlers that's actually done it. He's done it. Like he's okay, cool. I can water down, I can cater my style towards, the more casual fan, the more mainstream audience in WWE. But okay, years later, I'm still gonna prove that I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. Yeah. And it's like Danielson's career is it's a madness, because there's not many wrestlers. There's many wrestlers that have the ability to do it, but there's not many wrestlers that have had a career where they've showed I can do this and that pretty much at the same time. Yeah. And it's like, for me, the reason why this is such a dream match, because if you told me 5 years ago this match would happen, it's lunacy. Like, it's madness. Like, what do you mean? The guy who main evented WrestleMania, the guy who did the Yes movement, is facing the biggest draw in Japanese wrestling over the past decade. Yeah. Like, this is what, and this is
even from a point. Even from a point where I think just about 5 years ago, I think he had just come back out of retirement.
Yeah.
That's
and now
so mad.
This is where he is. Like,
this is what he's doing, and it's like, and then like this is the true definition of a dream match for me, because it's like I don't see Danielson ever signing for New Japan or wrestling for New Japan as a permanent like worker there. So this is the definition of a dream match, where it's like it took two companies to come together for this match to even exist. And this is why, like, when Forbidden Door was in talks, I was like, this is exactly what I want. These are the matches I will never get anywhere else.
This card with only 2 matches on it right now is probably better than whatever we got last year.
Last
year was excellent in terms of the actual show, but obviously we know how hampered it was with injuries and stuff like that.
Multi-man matches as well.
Multi-man matches.
These 2 matches that have been promoted, like, you find me 2 better matches that have ever been promoted on pay-per-view, like ever.
Exactly.
You can't. It's impossible. And it's like, Danielson. I will say this about Bryan Danielson: he was seen as one of the best in the world. Then he went to WWE, and I actually think that people forgot how good he actually was. Because, he showed he was versatile, and, he said it. He said in his book, his WWE book, he said that him and Claudio used to be frustrated, and they used to travel together, and they'd always complain. And then they realised, what we do here, we need to get in our mind that this isn't pro wrestling. And Bryan in his book said, this is a parody of pro wrestling. And as soon as we get in our head that this isn't really what we do,
we'll be mentally alright.
We'll be mentally okay. And it's like, that's
yourself into just getting the work done.
And that's when he kind of started goofing off, sort of thing, on the job. And that's when he kind of, got over. But it's like he left, and then all of a sudden he's in the conversation. It was like people forgot how good he was. I remember leading into the Kenny match. It was like, yeah, Kenny's great, but, let's see what this guy's got left. Because, he had good matches in WWE, but not like what he's doing here. And it's like he goes in and he has a match with Kenny, and it's like, wow. And they could have done way more as well, but they were saving it.
And the thing is, with Danielson, in my opinion, like, he's only been like, he's joined AEW years after like everyone's come in. If you look at match resume, he has one of the best matches. Like, if you just look at the list of matches Danielson's had in AEW, his catalog's ridiculous. You could argue say he's like probably at top 5. And that's like base top three.
He's better than
top 3.
He's got
There's not many.
Deep how big the roster is.
Yeah.
Many man don't, and a lot of these man have been wrestling dark every week.
Yeah.
That man have a catalogue of 50 million matches.
Who are you looking at, right? You're looking at Kenny, the Bucks, and Bryan Danielson as far as having match quality. Like, no, Bryan Danielson, you can.
So who do you guys say top 5?
Hangman's up there.
Hangman's up there.
Moxley.
Penner and Phoenix as well.
I don't know.
Singles-wise, I'll say Phoenix is above Penta.
Yes,
as far as an act.
Yeah.
You can make an argument, and I know people that think this. I know people in wrestling that think that Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler that ever lived.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't.
Yeah.
And I can't argue.
In the last year, he creeps into my top 5.
I
took who did I take out? I think I took out Randy Savage.
Yeah, fine.
And I put
Randy's great.
Yeah, Bryan's better. Yeah.
I think Kenny Omega is the greatest wrestler I've ever seen. Like bar none. I've never seen anyone as good as Kenny Omega. Bryan Danielson and Okada, they are right there for me.
I think,
like,
for me, the way I differentiate the two, I think Danielson's probably had, like, in terms of complete career, I think he has, like, one of the most complete careers I've ever seen.
He's worked longer than Kenny as well.
Yeah, and I feel like even with Kenny's had, like, an amazing run at the top in terms of, like, being the best wrestler in the world, I say for, like, last 5 years. But the latter part of his career, I feel like with Danielson,
he was 3 years in.
Like, that Danielson, like, from the genesis of his career to, like, the twilight years of his career now, he's been the best.
In 2001, like, people were talking about this guy being the best. I'm not even exaggerating. I was there in 2001.
When he used to wear his blue shorts and
wear the mask.
He was bold and
his matches with Loki, AJ, Chris Daniels, people were like, this guy.
Even beat Tanahashi early in his career as well.
He did. He did a lot. He worked over here. I've seen Bryan Danielson wrestle over here in front of 300. I saw him wrestle Tyler Black over here in front of 300 people. Like, and it's, same show as Kenny Omega wrestled El Generico over here. And it's just like, the guy, even then, he was excellent. I remember thinking, fucking hell, this guy, you'd think he'd having a night off. Nah, they put on like a 4.5-star match that day.
It's crazy when you mentioned that he's been wrestling that long, because normally you would think that, cool, by this time, they will start to slow down. Their body's gone through wear and tear.
He slowed down. He took his break. He took
his break and retired, then came back, and so it was even slower.
He came back, but I feel like he's not going slow. I feel like he's.
No, I'm saying WWE's when he went slower.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't that. He was killing it.
He's having good matches with Brock. That match with Brock is like
even early on with his stuff with like Chris Jericho, what's his name, Sin Cara, like Cody Rhodes. Like he was killing it early on when he was like US champion as well.
But bro, like literally, even stepping into this year, like Danielson, like is. Like like Bandido, MJF, Takeshita,
he's been on fire.
Timothy Thatcher.
I think the Rouge match is one of my favourite matches.
Yeah,
it's like the shackles have come off and this guy's just gone. Speedy Gonzalez.
This is why he left. Like again, people expect when he leaves, there's some type of shoot interview, blah blah blah. It's just I wanted to actually wrestle. I wanted to do something different.
And he spoke highly of WWE.
He spoke highly of WWE.
This is exactly it. Like they don't cater to what I want to do with these latter stages of my career, innit?
Nah.
So now he's at a place where he can have that flexibility and stuff.
I remember this match with Suzuki.
Rampage! Fuck!
Yeah. Daniel Bryan, you ain't bad.
Flogging.
Even the match I did with Eddie Kingston and Evil Uno.
That was called
Kingston.
Bro, Hangman. The match is the
Rocky Romero.
The Hangman.
Christopher Daniels, bro.
He's been
Daniels, yeah.
The Hangman match, the hour draw.
Bro, even that tournament leading to Winter, he had a tournament leading to. Bro, he was killing it in that tournament, fam.
That was for the world title.
That's for the world title, bro.
Matches with Moxley.
Daniel Garcia.
Garcia had 2. Yeah.
Moxley.
Sammy, a really good match with Sammy Guevara.
Bro, like Danielson, man.
Oh, yeah, the match with Sammy Guevara as well.
Yeah,
was that like 2 out of 3? That's it.
Excellent. They had that 4-way at Full Gear, which was excellent. Him and Claudio and Jericho and Sammy.
Oh yeah, for the ROH title. That was a great match.
Like everyone, Sammy was incredible in that match as well.
Sammy's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
But
I
then,
love the guy.
and then we're saying the year he's already had, and he's gonna add fucking Okada to that list.
Bro, remember his first AEW match with Kenny?
Omega. Yeah.
Bro, that was like Vegeta and Goku.
We still need an answer.
We need to run it back.
Yeah.
We need to run it back.
I can't lie. You know what? I don't think we even need an answer. I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer. Leave it open. Leave it open for life.
Nah. Do you know
That's it. You don't need
as great as that match was, you can see they were leaving stuff on the table.
Yeah.
As great as that match, and
bro, I told you, Vegeta and Goku, bro.
I said
they
this when I
can't
watched it
beat
at the
each
time.
other.
I don't think these men got out of gear too.
They didn't.
No.
Like, I'm just thinking,
where
like,
was the
there's
one
so
Wicked
much
Angel stuff?
Yeah.
Where was it?
There's so much that hasn't actually
and
happened.
even then, Kenny Omega was fucking banged up. Like he left television.
He was champion then, innit?
Yeah, he was champion then. So
listen, you see if them man went full gear on us, they would have given us so much wrestling. We wouldn't watch wrestling for the rest of the year.
No, we would.
We would just watch that one match, and that's us done for the year.
It's one of them ones where it'll just spoil you. Like, you after you see something that's excellent as that, you can't help but then just compare everything. Like this is the bar. Like it will become difficult to be watching other matches.
They've saved 6 generations now by keeping on K1.
At the same time, I feel like Forbidden Door already spoiled. How could you have Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega on the same pay-per-view as Danielson and Okada? That's spoiling.
Do you realise?
What is that?
Them men are going to be in competition with each other. They are going to. Who's going on after? Who's following that? Who's following who?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I have to put a tag match in between.
Bushimon or something.
Friends or something like that. They have to do
Trust me.
What's up, people? You're watching a clip from the WRESTHINGS podcast. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. By the Mandem, for the Mandem.